ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Raikes.
Wow. Today is day 7,554. But who's counting? As of today, I have worked at Microsoft for 7,554 days. And if you whip out your Pocket PC and you do a little date calculation on Pocket Excel, you'll quickly figure out that not too long ago, this last fiscal year, I had my 20th anniversary at Microsoft. 20 years. You know, 20 years, a milestone like that really causes you to reflect. I reflected on the great people I had the chance to work with, great people like you. I reflected upon the teams that I've been able to be a part of and what we've been able to accomplish. You know, if you go back to day one for me, our company was just about 100 employees. Our worldwide annual revenue was $12 million. And I was one of 7 people who was lucky enough to be a part of helping to start up our Office applications business. Who would have believed that 20 years later, we'd have an $8 billion business with 300 million users of Office applications around the world? It's amazing. You guys made that happen. And it's been 2 incredible decades of creating value for our customers and information work. You know, if you go back to the 1980s, you know, that was an amazing wave of value for customers. They adopted digital tools for their personal productivity. Spreadsheets became prevalent. They didn't exist before that. You know, at the beginning of that decade, it was just narrowly used word processing, Wang, dedicated word processing, and that died, and word processing went everywhere. We bought a company called Forethought because we thought the PowerPoint product was really cool. We could use it to create our overheads. And then we pulled those categories together into a graphical suite of Office applications. And that was a major, major decade. And that paved the way in the 90s when corporations embraced personal productivity. They brought that together. It was really a case of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, because that paved the way for networking. You know, we don't really think about it very much, but it was the broad adoption of Windows and Office that led to the PC ubiquity that made it possible for the Internet to grow the way that it grew. It made it possible for us to reach out to people with electronic mail, to use intranets as a way to access information. So another amazing wave of value during the 90s. So 2 amazing decades. But the most incredible thing to me is that today feels like day one. It feels like day one because I see a whole new generation of what's possible for information work. I see the incredible value we can create during this decade, the digital decade, for our customers. And that can be a $20 billion dream for our company. And so for me, this is day one. And part of the reason I'm excited is because I see the challenges. You know, while there's been an incredible wave of value creation for our customers, there are still things that are unfulfilled. There are still opportunities that we haven't delivered on, and in fact, some of their successes have created new challenges. You know, today, Office tools aren't as connected to the islands of data throughout the organization as they need to be. There's been incredible investment in business process and software for business process by our customers, but the Office tools aren't as clearly connected to those business processes as they need to be. There's been tremendous change in work culture during the last 10 years, But today, our digital tools don't as effectively connect people as they need to be. And while it's incredible to have all this access to information, we frequently find it frustrating to get the information we need when we need it. We love to be able to communicate with people via email, but sometimes we feel incredible fatigue by the amount of email that we have. We used to think of the platform for productivity as the PC, but now the platform is the PC, the desktop, the laptop, the kiosk, the pocket PC, your smartphone, the technology that now is going into your automobile, the auto PC, the kind of technology you use in your home. That has to be thought of as the platform for productivity. And another key challenge is customers feel like they've invested a lot in software, but they don't always feel like they're getting the return. They feel a sense of ineffective use of technology. So these are the challenges, but from these challenges, I see opportunity. Bill sees opportunity. Steve sees opportunity. All of us can take this on. Bill said at Fall Comdex, in the decade ahead, he predicted very clearly that we can provide twice the productivity as improvement as we did during the 90s. And I'm at least that optimistic. During this digital decade, we can deliver on that. How? Number one, we have to serve a broader customer audience. We have to create new customer value through innovation. And we have to help our customers realize business value. I want to talk about what it means to really reach more broadly. Why am I putting an emphasis on that? We talked about the knowledge worker. Why shift from talking about knowledge worker to information worker? We still think the knowledge worker is very important. Knowledge worker really represents that very high value add in information work. But if you want to have a big dream, a $20 billion dream, you have to have an even bigger aspiration. We aspire to broadly serve people who are doing information work. You know, if you talk to a hospital CEO or maybe an airline CEO, they won't necessarily think of their nurses or their pilots as knowledge workers. Yet today, those people are using digital tools to enhance their productivity. They are people who are an active participant in a business information flow or business information process. And so this broader market of information work is what we aspire to serve. And there's incredible value that we can deliver to them. This to me is I put together sort of a very simplified model of information work. Obviously, when we do information work, we need to access information, we need to absorb it, we collaborate with people, we author content, we make decisions, take actions, we communicate. But the thing that I think is really interesting is to consider, given the kinds of technological advances that are going to occur, what can we do during this decade to have a really positive impact, to create new and significantly enhanced value for information work? So that's what I've done here. I thought to myself, and I've talked to the team, you know, portal technology is already showing that we can dramatically improve the way in which people access information, the way in which they access people who are experts, the way in which people can absorb information. With the tablet PC, on-screen reading, so it's easier to have content with you everywhere you go, electronically annotate, advances in business intelligence to improve analysis, the convergence of audio, video, and the network to provide the platform of new ways to collaborate and new ways to communicate, inking and handwriting recognition and voice recognition as a way to improve how we can author content. So these are all examples of the kind of incredible value that we can create for customers. But in order to really make this effective, we've got to focus our energies. We've got to focus our energies on how we can create this value and how we can make it available to our customers. And so these are the 6 core strategies of our information worker business. Number one, we need to make sure that we continue to keep Office fresh for our customers. There are going to be incredible platform advances that we can take advantage of. Digital rights management, the new user experience capabilities of Longhorn, the way in which we can get Office as the smartest client in connecting to software services. Second strategy, tune Office to provide even greater value for specific customer segments like the home and small business. Strategy number 3, build on that model of information work and really extend and create new categories of application value. Extend Visio to a much broader audience. Extend Project to a broader audience. Take advantage of the XML direction to help customers wipe out less efficient, more expensive, paper-based workflow through XML structured documents in a paperless workflow. That's what Xdocs is about. Take advantage of things like the tablet PC form factor to create new paradigms, new metaphors for note-taking. That's what we're doing with Scribbler. Take advantage of the advances in business intelligence to more broadly extend business intelligence capabilities throughout the customer's users. Those are all opportunities. Servers and services is a part of information work. Now, Brian Valentine made a very, very important point this morning about Windows Server and the importance of file and print sharing. The proposition of Windows Server was right at the center of information work. File and print sharing is at the center of what it is that people do for information work. But what we need to do is we need to raise the bar. Raise the bar beyond what Linux is trying to do in cloning the server. We have to have new value, like SharePoint Team Services. SharePoint Team Services 2.0 will become a part of the Windows.NET Server family so that we're raising the bar of value that customers can get with the Windows Server for collaboration. We can take advantage of digital rights management and real-time communication and make that a part of the platform for information work. And then we can build on that for advanced scenarios for information work, like the portal scenario, workflow, advanced document management. And if we do this really well in each of these areas, that is the foundation for what can become a $20 billion business before the end of this decade. Fifth strategy, information work solutions. You know, if you talk to the CIO, I think you know this. They're probably not going to upgrade to Office XP just because of smart tags. But when you put it in the context of a key business initiative of the organization, the Corporate Intranet Initiative, the Six Sigma Project Initiative, the Enterprise Project Management Initiative, then you begin to help them see how they can get the most value from those technologies. And that's what leads them. And so what we've done is we've created a group in Redmond as a part of product development that's going to pull together our technologies into solution offerings. It used to be a part-time job for the development groups. You know that. That's what's happened the last couple of years. In our group, we are dedicating more than 50 people who will solely focus on integrating these technologies together for you and your partners to use. And our sixth and most important strategy for you is to reach out and educate our customers. Have them aspire. Have them understand how they can realize the potential of information work. So I'm very excited that we put in place our business productivity sales and marketing organization. We had a few hundred very enthusiastic people for their day one on Thursday. Are they here? The business productivity organization? And we're making a significant investment. By the end of this year, we expect to have more than 400 people in business productivity sales, and with the marketing team, about 600 people in our field organization. And we're going to spend probably an incremental $50 million this year to make sure that we carry the message forward. But we've got to do that in the context of business value for our customers. I love this quote from Jack Welch. He says that GE, there are only two sources of competitive advantage. Number one, the ability to learn more about our customers faster than the competition. And two, the ability to turn that learning into action faster than the competition. Faster, faster. See, to me, that's a really central point for realizing business value from information work. For all of us, time is our most precious resource. What if I could come to you and say, could you use an extra 2 hours a day? Would you like a 26-hour day? Absolutely. And the same is also true for business. Time to competence, time to responsiveness, time to insight. I don't know if you realize how much the world has changed. Back in the 1950s, average tenure in a career role was about 20 years. Now it's 3.2 years. The time it takes for somebody to get up to speed in a new role is estimated to be 6 to 12 months. But we know how rapidly people are changing roles. So what is it we can do to help our customers increase the time to competence of the people in their organization? New people that they hire, people within the organization that take on new roles. What is it that we can do to help them be more responsive in a global economy where there's intense competition for customers, and so customer service is highly important? Or you need to shorten the development cycles for new products and services by more rapidly responding to customer feedback and building that into those product development cycles. What can we do to help the customer improve time to insight, learn more rapidly from their successes, from their failures, and spread that throughout the organization? So I want to give you a picture of how we create that kind of business value for customers. I'm going to show you a few demos. I'm going to show you technologies like SharePoint Portal Server 2.0, SharePoint Team Services 2.0. I'm going to show you about XDocs. I'm going to show you some of our existing products like Office XP. But I'm going to do this the way I did it at the CEO Summit. I'm not going to talk about the products. I want you to think of yourself as one of the CEOs that was at that summit. You have these kinds of business issues. Now, time to competence, time to responsiveness, time to insight. I want you to think of me as Neil Charney. I'm a sales representative from a pharmaceutical firm called Contosa. And this is my page. When I go to my page, I get news that's related to my role within the company, in the sales organization. I learn about sales in my region. I have general news information, and I have resources that are specific to me. You see, I have a new role. I have to learn how to sell a new product called Pentacell. And so right here on my page, I have a link that's been given to me so that I can get up to speed quickly on Pentacell. I have access to the experts. I can communicate with them electronically. I can get in touch with them. I have access to important resources. I can use on-demand training as a way to learn new ways to sell Pentacell without the expense of travel and additional time. I have the ability to collaborate with other members of my sales team in the Western region. In fact, we put this together by ourselves without an expensive website designer so that we could be up to date on the upcoming meetings, the presentations. We took advantage of templates that were a part of this product so that we could be able to do this without that additional effort. That helps us get up to speed more rapidly. That's time to competence. Another important area, time to responsiveness. Now, as part of my role at Contosa, one of the things I need to do is I need to share important information with my manager, who's got a responsibility to connect with our colleagues in product development. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fill out a form. Now, I think, as you know, there's an important standard in our industry, XML. I'm thinking of you as the CEOs here. And this standard XML is going to help people have more intelligent sharing of information in an organization. You see, when I fill out this form, it's a smart form. It's an intelligent form. You've probably heard about software services. I can connect to a software service and be able to update my sales report with the latest information about product sales. In fact, it's so intelligent it uses color to highlight great sales or lower sales. I can use the ability to highlight important information, what we think of as rich text. And since one of the things I know is very important is for me to share with product development high priority issues, and Trey Research is focusing on muscle reconstruction, I've decided to make that high priority And you'll notice that that immediately turns red. Now I'm going to go ahead and save that information. I'm going to switch roles. Now I'm Neil's manager. And one of my responsibilities is to go ahead and overview what's happening in the field organization, coaching my people, and also getting a sense of what's going on that would affect product development. Now, because of these being intelligent documents, I can now do a combination of all of the sales reports from my representatives. And you'll notice that the intelligence allows me to aggregate all of that information into a single form. Here are the comments from Neil, the comments from Nina, the product sales that they're responsible for, the action items that they have, including that high priority one from Neil. Now, because one of my responsibilities as a sales manager is to connect with my colleagues in product development, I use a summary view that uses the intelligence of all of that information, the XML intelligence, to be able to summarize that into a single view, and I can just click and email off to my colleague in product development. Pretty cool. Now, as the CEO of your company, I know you run the company by the numbers, but you really want to drive that down through the organization. You want all of your people to be able to run by the numbers. So from your portal within the organization, you have the ability to overview your corporate scorecard, the financial perspective, the customer perspective, the operations perspective. And your sales management team can be taking a look at this information. In fact, now I'm the VP of Sales, and I'm going to show you how business intelligence is now opened up to everybody. I can look at the overall profitability because you see there's been a real shift in the last time period. It's gone from a negative result to a positive result, from 9% to 30%. And what I want to do is I want to take a look and really understand what's going on there. I want to improve my time to insight. Now, this is a very, very simple way to look at it. I can look at total revenue. I can look at the profitability by color. I can drill into a given geography and see the profile of product sales just by a simple click. In New York, you see there's a very, very different profile for product sales. Here's the profile for Washington. You'll also notice in Washington I've had some real profitability issues. I can go ahead and drill down on Washington, and I noticed that in Tacoma, there's been some issues in profitability. I select Tacoma, but I noticed that there's been a real improvement in the last few months. I wonder what's going on. I just click, and I'm able to send this image to the sales manager so that he and I can get into a dialogue about what's happening in Tacoma, where I then more rapidly gain that insight to share with other parts of the business. So there's time to insight. So those are all good examples of how we can create business value for our customers. Business value from the combination of our technologies and put it into their terms. Now, one of the things that is very, very important advance that we've made in the last year is our significant investment in business solutions for small and medium business applications. And there's a great interconnection between what we do in business solutions and what we can do in information work. And to give you a sense of this, I'd like to invite Doug Burgum to the stage to share with you our excitement about business solutions and the interconnection for information work.
Thank you, Jeff. Good afternoon, MGB. I'm very excited to be here this afternoon to talk to you about Microsoft Business Solutions and what we can do together to help enable people and businesses to realize their full potential. We've got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. I want to talk about who we are, because this is the debut. This is the first time that Microsoft Business Solutions has been part of MGB. We want to talk about what we do and the great solutions that we have. We want to hear from a customer. We want to show you a great CRM demo. I'd like to close with a challenge to all of you. And then, of course, my favorite would always be to include a historically interesting, globally relevant, and extremely witty story. But we don't have time for all that today, so something had to be cut. when we've had conferences ourselves with partners and customers trying to cover the agenda I've just described, could easily fill 3 days. And they didn't give me 3 days. We have just a few minutes. So something's got to go. So what's going to go? What's going to go is the historically relevant, historically interesting, globally relevant, and witty story. That's going to be cut. Okay? That's leaving. But I know you're disappointed. I can tell you're disappointed. But we don't, I don't want to leave you hanging. We do have, having cut that story, we do have time for what would happen after that, which would be the momentous laughter following the story. Okay? So if you can join me, then on 3, we're all going to have a momentous round of laughter. All right? Okay? I didn't say 3 yet. I heard 1 chuckle. Okay? You guys ready? 3. Oh. No, it's... Now I have both... I hope I have the empathy of 14,000 people who know what it's like to bomb in front of a very large audience. Okay? But I'm actually very happy with the response. If I'd have burned a bunch of minutes telling the story, the response might have not even been as good as it was. So a good, efficient use of time. So we want to say, who are we? Who are we? We are Microsoft Business Solutions. And Microsoft Business Solutions represents a deep commitment on the part of Microsoft to enter the business application space. 16 months ago, Microsoft was not in this category. But taking the assets of B-Central, Great Plains, which was acquired in April of 2001, about 16 months ago, and last Thursday, just a week ago, July 11th, we completed the acquisition of the European ERP market leader in the mid-market division. We welcome them. We bring all 3 of those together. And we had the soft launch, if you will, last Thursday of Microsoft Business Solutions as a part of Microsoft. This organization represents 3,800 team members, over 1,500 in development, making it one of the 5 largest R&D efforts in business applications, even including the enterprise players. We have over 4,500 certified partners around the world who are satisfied and profitable delivering solutions to small and mid-sized customers. We have today over 250,000 customers, and we are global with distribution reaching over 109 countries. We've got customers in 132 countries. So that's Microsoft Business Solutions. What are our solutions? I know there's, well, okay, thank you, yes. Several people are pleased we're here. Maybe it's the people that wrote out the checks. I'm not sure for these companies. But anyway, we are pleased to be here. We have a broad range of solutions. I know there's been some misperception that this is just small business accounting. Couldn't be further from the truth. Of course, we have small business accounting in a great position there, but we've got the full range of solutions across ERP, across supply chain, and as you'll see, we're coming soon with customer relation management. What this means is it's financials, it's human resources, it's payroll, it's professional services automation with some great work that we're doing with the project team to deliver great solutions there in the PSA market. Inventory, sales order processing, purchasing, warehouse management across the supply chain side. And of course, we've got a great lineup of analytics with the FRX brand, delivering solutions as the industry standard analytics for small and mid-sized customers. So again, in all of these solutions, interconnected, working well together, this is the way customers in this category want to see them work. But in addition to delivering those great solutions to customers, there's also been a misperception that, hey, Microsoft getting into the business application space, isn't this bad for Microsoft partners? Doesn't this cut out the opportunity for ISVs? Again, myth, not fact. The fact is that one of the core strategies in Microsoft Business Solutions is to enrich the ISV ecosystem. Well, how do we do that? Well, historically, throughout our business model over the last 20 years, a key component of what we deliver to customers has been to create an opportunity for ISVs to sell additional products with ours. Matter of fact, over 50% of the solutions that go to customers include a third-party product. And the Microsoft platform, which is fabulous, which is great, most ISVs who are building transactional applications, particularly those that are trying to build applications for the next gen, XML enabled, or everything has to connect everything, a higher level of complexity, it's a challenging job. It's taxing the resources of a lot of ISVs to make the leap to the next generation of technology. So the Microsoft Business Framework, which is going to be a key deliverable from our group, consists of a programming model, tools, web services. It's got everything that people need to, again, to be able to deliver transactional XML web-based solutions for customers. And this could go to a direct competitor of ours. We will make available all the tools that we're using to build business solutions available to competitors. But more importantly, it'll probably go to tens of thousands of ISVs and web-based service developers who will extend their resources, the limited resources that they have, to work closer on the customer edge, as is represented by the green here on the top of the slide. We can help raise the tide for the whole industry, push those resources out to the edge, deliver more value to customers. And that's, again, a key part of what we're doing. Great solutions, great tools for ISVs. We've got, as I said, 250,000 great customers. We want to take a look at one customer, this customer, dedicate this customer to the Canadian team and to Brian Valentine. Let's take a look.
Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment owns the Toronto Raptors, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Air Canada Centre.
Here at Maple Leaf Sports, we're pretty passionate about our teams.
Our original decision to implement Microsoft Business Solutions system into our business was based on the fact that we needed to be very flexible. We needed to have a database solution that allowed us to add our various business units.
We run so many different lines of business concurrently. Food and beverage has their own system, our merchandise has their own system, ticketing has its own system, payroll has its own system, all of which need to integrate back to our business solution.
Microsoft Business Solution and a SQL platform that it resides on enables us to manage that information efficiently.
We've been able to cut in half the amount of time it takes for us to process information, analyze it, and then provide a concise report that goes out to our board of directors on a monthly basis.
We have fantastic access to our customer information, but we don't have a single point of view. We want to get to the point where the customer can call in and we can understand the past history, we can understand the needs. The Microsoft Business Solution and Customer Resource Management module can help us to bring all these different fan information together under one umbrella. The acquisition of the Great Plains products by Microsoft has really brought to Microsoft's camp the missing link. You had a back office set of tools, you have a great office applications, but the value to the business has always been the underlying bottom line and understanding the profit margins. And Business Solution will fill that gap.
You heard one of the key benefits there of interconnected solutions, which is solutions working better together from that customer. One offering we're going to have in this next year coming up is CRM, which again will help tie together systems for people. Joining me on stage to take a look at that is Holly Holt. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, Doug. It's great being here.
It is great having you here. Now we know that Bill Gates himself has said that CRM is the birthright of Microsoft. So I just thought no pressure on you or the development team.
Well, we're not going to let him down.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, you guys, in the audience today, we have a lot of CRM users from all over. And I'm guessing most of you will agree that one of the biggest pains in some CRM applications is duplication of data entry. It slows you down. I'm going to show you a real simple scenario today of how Microsoft CRM can automate some of those tasks to make you more productive in your sales. So, you know, Doug, I'm on the web browser right now. Microsoft CRM is accessible both through the web and through Outlook, but with this audience, let's go to Outlook, okay? So you guys will notice we're here on our calendar like you're working every day, but we've added another group of shortcuts. And if you look at the folder list, you'll see not only CRM has been integrated to Outlook, but beyond that, I'll point out that we have information available on orders, on products and quotes, all because of integration between CRM and our back office solutions. So, like any good salesperson, the first thing I'm going to do when I get into the office in the morning is take a look at my leads. And I do have a new lead here that Dave O'Hara had entered or had requested more information on our CRM solution. You know, when we were out shooting the Maple Leafs footage, he did say he had a real interest in Microsoft CRM. So I know that he's a qualified lead. I'm going to convert that lead into an opportunity. And this is someplace where the automation of the system is incredible. Not only can I convert the lead into an opportunity, I can create a contact on Dave, and I can create an account for the Maple Leaf so my back office people have that information and can start working against it as well. Finally, I'm going to check this box so you guys can see as the forms are being created. What's happening in the background, again, is each of the forms you need for an opportunity, a contact, and an account are being created, and I'll pull them up so you can take a look at them. All right, you see that you have, first of all, an opportunity for Microsoft CRM with the Maple Leafs. You have a contract form on Dave, so that's the lead form. Let's get rid of that. That's been moved over. A contact for Dave, and this way the team that's working on it can keep filling information out on Dave as they learn more about him. Finally, the account form is there and available. Now, as I'm saving away these forms, something else is happening in the background. There's a lot of workflow capabilities in Microsoft CRM, and as I save a contact associated with an opportunity, a personalized email is being generated to Dave, introducing me and letting him know that I'll be calling on him next week. So Doug, in just a couple minutes, I've shown you the ways that Microsoft CRM can increase productivity through the automation of tasks, how you can harness the power of CRM integrated to ERP and to Outlook, and talked a little bit about the workflow engine that's available in Microsoft CRM. Microsoft CRM's in beta right now, but it's going to be available later this year in 8 languages.
Great. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Certainly, Linux has been in the news lately. Linux has been certainly a talk of this conference. But as you take a look at the headlines that seem to be appearing even weekly about other business application providers aligning themselves around competitive platforms, it's important for us to remember that this isn't just a platform battle. It's also about the applications and the relationship that exists, of course, between platforms and applications. It's not so that I think the way it was framed the other day by Orlando was just perfect. Orlando described it as not that we were competing against something, but we're competing for the customers. And the way that Microsoft, against competitors, delivers more value to customers, we do that all the way up the stack. Earlier today, you heard from Paul Flessner at the close of he and Eric's great session that they had, talk about winning customer trust, having the customer conversation, winning developers, don't lose to Linux. Those are the key 4 closing points. Well, what helps all of you do that? We win customer trust with great applications like we have today, that we've got the highest customer satisfaction on the Microsoft Business Solution applications in our history. It's always been very high. It went even higher this year. So we do have customer trust. The customer conversation is always around solving a business problem, and you solve a business problem with a business solution. We talked just for a minute today about the great opportunity we have for developers and ISVs to join in this, and certainly against Linux, we have an opportunity to deliver more value up the stack. When you've got the best platform, which we do, with the best applications, that equals the best customer value. And if you've got the platform win, you've got the server win, then of course you end up with this lasting relationship. And a lasting customer relationship is defined in terms of business applications, in terms of the data that we've collected over the last 20 years. It's 7 to 10 years. A customer picks an application, and you aren't going to go have to have a battle about Office because of the integration you saw with the application here with CRM. You aren't going to have a battle about the platform or about the server because it's all tied together, works the way they want it, and they're not going to swap out that application. They're going to keep that application for 7 to 10 years. And so it's a great opportunity for us to build customer trust and develop annuities. And I want to thank all of you that are here. Just this week, with the visibility that we've had here at this conference, we've had a number of you, account teams and individuals, come up to us and say, hey, look, there's a situation that we know with a customer. We'd love to work together. We want to try to introduce you into an account. I want to thank you for the people that are being proactive, and we look forward to the next year to deep collaboration around the world, working with all of you as we compete for customers and increase the value that we can bring with them. I said at the beginning that we wanted to leave you with a challenge. And I think this is an important challenge for all of us to think about, because Microsoft has had such enormous success over the last 25 years. I've had the great opportunity since 1983 to be a partner of Microsoft's. I've had a great opportunity the last 16 months to be directly a part of Microsoft. And certainly this is an organization, that has changed the course of history. This is an organization that's been built around big dreams. And that's what the challenge is about. The challenge is that I want to leave you is about your own dreams. Because there are many examples in history, not just Microsoft, where the dreams of an individual or the dreams of a team literally changed the course of history. And there's a great quote that I love, and it came from an individual, T.E. Lawrence. Some of you may know of him. In history, he was from Great Britain, and he lived at the last part of the 1800s, the early part of the 1900s. He's widely known as an author. He wrote 7 Pillars as one of his books, but he also was known to many, both in myth and reality, as Lawrence of Arabia. And T.E. Lawrence had once said, and I'm roughly paraphrasing, he said there's 2 kinds of dreamers. There's those kinds of people that dream with their eyes closed, and their dreams disappear into the recesses of their mind. And there's another kind of dreamer, those that dream with their eyes open, those that dream with their eyes open during the day. It is these dreamers that are the dangerous dreamers, because it's their dreams that change the course of history. My challenge to each of you is to be a dangerous dreamer. As we go forward and embrace the new mission of Microsoft, we do have an opportunity with the resources and the commitment of this organization, this amazing organization. We do have an opportunity together to change the course of history. We do have an opportunity to enable people and businesses to realize their full potential. Thank you. I look forward to working with you.
Quicker. Great job. Yeah, super. Thank you. Well, great. We're very excited about what we're doing in business solutions, and as Doug said, the opportunity to dream with our eyes open. Now, I want to share with you an update on another dream that we've had for many years, the tablet PC opportunity. Now, this is a great example. Good. Let's get excited. I sense that maybe you were waiting for this moment. This is a great example for us to show our long-term commitment to innovation and leadership within this industry. It's a great example of where we can reinvigorate the PC desktop. You know, just to make sure you all understand, this is a full-function PC. This PC is built on Windows XP Professional, and the tablet edition extends Windows XP Professional to all new scenarios where, in effect, you have the screen and paper merging together for new capabilities and new metaphors. And for all of you, there is upside. Upside for more sales of Windows and also for more Office XP. In fact, I'm going to show you a little bit about that in the demo. Now, we're very, very fortunate that this is an industry initiative. We have lots of great partners, 15 partners who are working on tablet PCs. And in fact, I want to give you an update. Typically, there are really 2 different styles. Now, many of you have seen this. This is a great laptop. This is the Acer convertible. Now, we call it a convertible because, as you can see, what I can do is I can use this laptop with the keyboard, or I can rotate the display, and it becomes a tablet PC. Now, for, gosh, I think probably 10 years or more, Fujitsu, another key partner, has been doing great work in tablets. And they've brought the best of their design experience to a Windows XP tablet PC. And here you see it. Very, very nice form factor. I can take it with me. We call this a slate design. And I can just pop it back in to the station. You'll notice that I can go ahead and I can rotate the display. I can do portrait, landscape. I have the keyboard available to me. You know, here's another one that I think is very exciting. This is from Motion Computing. These are people who are alumni from Dell. And one of the reasons I really like this slate design is it's a 12.1-inch display. It's the size of a full sheet of paper. So very, very exciting work going on. You've got the convertible form factor, the slate form factor. Convertible, slate. I don't know which I really like best. In fact, really, I don't think I want to make a compromise. I really would like to have the best of both. So I want to show you something that's actually top secret. This has not been shown outside of HP Compaq. So you have to keep it a secret. I'm serious. You have to keep it a secret. Now, it looks like a convertible. I've got the keyboard, I can use it like a laptop. But when I want to take off for the meeting, I just take it with me. Very cool. So I can use it like a convertible, but in addition, what I can do is I can put it into this really cool docking station. And now what I can do, in fact, let me see if pin's right here. Good job. I'm going to go ahead and switch that into portrait. And you'll notice, if I'm not blocking the camera, I can now pick it up, I can rotate it if I want, and I could use this as another display with my regular desktop monitor. Very, very cool design from our partners at HP Compaq. Great work on the tablet PC. Well, now, I think the tablet PC is so exciting, it probably merits some really exciting new ideas. And we have some incredible marketing ideas for tablet placement. And I want to show them to you and see what you think. Can we take a look here? What about the Tablet of Liberty? Or, maybe that throwback to the 1970s, Tablet Pong. And you know how Apple is always trying to get Macs placed in movies? Well, we can do that too. Let's take a look. I especially like the Ten Commandments one. Yeah, Moses, throw that tablet, baby. And, since this is a historical moment in the PC industry, why not have historical figures pitch the tablet for us? George, Napoleon. And if you look really closely, you'll notice that Napoleon is holding the electronic pen in his fingertips. Well, yeah, we have a lot of exciting things going on in the hardware. But you know what really makes the tablet sing? Great software. Now, the tablet PC is a platform that will succeed in part because it'll be able to take advantage of all of the great software that's out there. I want you to go ahead and take a look. I'm going to bring up Microsoft Word. This is standard Microsoft Word. It hasn't been altered for the tablet PC. And you'll notice that when I move the pen across the display, the cursor moves. I'm actually not touching the display. Now, why is that? Well, because it can't be pressure sensitive. It's got to be electromagnetic. So really advanced technology in order to be able to make the tablet PC work. Now, I don't have the keyboard available to me right now, but what I might want to do is to bring up the tablet input panel. And here I see the soft keyboard. Or I can use the writing pad or voice input. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead, you'll notice I'm inking in my combination of print and cursive, and the recognition enters that information in for me. Now, of course, it's great that I can use my existing applications, but I also want to be able to use new capabilities. For example, Windows Journal, which is going to come with the tablet PC, you're going to see the best of having great ink. In this case, the ink for meeting notes. Now, I just want to show you how cool the ink is. You'll notice here, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing on the display. Very, very high tech going on here. We're sampling at 133 samples per second. We're using Bezier splines and anti-aliasing to smooth the ink. Pressure sensitive, so when I press hard, it's thick. When I press lightly, but there's more. Watch me turn the pen over. Love it, baby. Now, one of the things you're going to be very excited to know is that we have an Office XP add-on pack. so that for people using the tablet PC when it launches this fall, they're going to be able to get great value for Office XP. Let's take advantage of this ink here and say, convert that into an Outlook contact. Uses the recognition, allows me to correct it and convert that into an Outlook contact. There you have it. Now, there are other things that we can do as well. Let's say, for example, you're sitting there, you're at home on the couch, you're watching the Seattle Mariners. You need to respond to a little bit of email. Here, I got a great email from Todd. You'll notice the official launch date is November 7th. And I want to respond to Todd and say, hey, that's great. Now, you know, I could use the soft keyboard or the writing pad, you know, but maybe what I'd like to do is just ink a little message back to Todd and say, hey, Todd, that's great. Ink mail. Ink mail. Oh, come on, that's worth a little more than that. You know how much we use PowerPoint? Wouldn't you want to kind of be in PowerPoint? And maybe you're doing the presentation. And just go ahead and use the pen to highlight a point on screen while you're doing the presentation. Or maybe use the highlighter to highlight for your audience the importance of enabling access to the full keyboard and mouse. Or, you know, maybe what you'd like to do, maybe you're in the audience and what you want to do is to make a note about an action item that you need to follow up on. There you can do it, right on the slide. And when you're done and you go to close out the presentation, you can save all of those ink annotations with the PowerPoint presentation. Oh, come on. There you go. So Office XP add-on pack is going to give you a lot of cool capabilities to show off what you can do with the tablet PC. But I'm also very excited about the software work that we're doing that helps represent the tablet as a new metaphor. You know, here's a very important article. Star Office's plan to rival Microsoft falls flat on compatibility and ease. You know, Star Office does a very poor job of document compatibility. And I want to really make sure that our field knows that. Now, if I was reading the paper newspaper, you know, I might clip it out, photocopy it, send it off in paper mail. But maybe what I'd like to do is use one of our new power toys called Snippet. And I'm just going to go ahead and select the information here. And I'm going to highlight the compatibility issue and say, BPA, please note. And there you go. And when I click on email, what I'm going to do is, it's just like having a pair of scissors. I'm going to clip that right off the screen, and there it is in email to send to people. Very cool, very cool. So as you can see, we've got a lot of great things going on with Office, with our work with Office and new capabilities for the tablet. We also have a lot of great partners. Let's bring up the slide. Look at all of the great partners. People internally, Microsoft Business Solutions, Visio, Office, but also Adobe, Autodesk, WebEx, Agilix, Franklin Covey, doing great work on the tablet. Let me go ahead and show you some of the work of one of our ISVs. Agilix Labs has joined with Franklin Covey. Some of you know Franklin Covey, you know, the 7 principles. Now, what I have with One Planner is their paper-based organization system on screen, right there with me on my tablet. And it works just like I'm using the paper system. I can go ahead, I need to go to a Mariners game. I want to indicate that I'm going to meet my friend here. So I ink just like I would in the paper system. I have the ability, because they're taking advantage of our great inking work, what I can do is I can go to a weekly view and it scales all of the ink to the weekly view. And if I go back to the daily view, it will scan it. And in fact, you'll notice that today, or last Saturday, not a lot to do, but I probably need to finalize my slides. And it uses our gesture work, and it recognizes a gesture and automatically moves that action item to the next day. They're also taking advantage of a very cool capability the tablet team invented to search on ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write tablet here and ask it to search. And it searches throughout all of my paper-based, searches throughout all of my paper-based notes and identifies where tablet appears. So I just go ahead and I can see increase the tablet PC sales by 50%. So great stuff. Now I ask you, do you want a tablet PC? I have some bad news for you. We've picked a few people for a tablet PC. Can we bring that up? We did a little drawing for some tablet PC and also Pocket PC Phone Edition winners. And so I want you to see the 3 lucky winners of tablet PC and Pocket PC Phone. Takashi Tsugo from Japan, Rodrigo Gribel Escobar from Mexico City, and Melanie Kunz from Germany. Congratulations. Now, if you weren't one of the lucky winners, I just will remind you that as part of being in the business productivity sales organization, we live the digital lifestyle, and we will definitely have tablet PCs, Pocket PC Phone Edition, and anything else that helps us educate our customers on how they can get more out of their information work. Just a subtle little message about what you can do in business productivity. Well, the tablet is a really, really cool area of innovation for this decade. But you know, another really cool area of innovation for this decade is collaboration. And I want to share with you some of the things that are going on in collaboration, in particular with our partners. Some of you have heard about our investment in Groove Networks. We have a very deep partnership with Groove Networks, which was founded by Ray Ozzie, the creator of Lotus Notes. Ray is very, very dedicated to the Microsoft platform. And he's got a very popular product. What Groove does is it's a collaborative workspace. It really helps people collaborate. Ray likes to think of the knowledge worker or information worker supply chain. How you can get people across organizational boundaries through the firewall, working together. How you can do that peer-to-peer, online and offline. And I'm very pleased to give you the heads up that on Monday we're going to be announcing an extension of our partnership. What we're going to do is we're working with Groove to take advantage of our great capability with SharePoint Team Services. Now I'm back to being Neil, and I have a SharePoint Team Services site. What I want to do is I want to extend that to my customers. What I can do is I'll be able to use Groove beginning this fall to create a shared space, a SharePoint Team Services space, and that will extend SharePoint Team Services across the firewall and to offline scenarios. And you'll notice that what Ray has done, Ray and his team have done, is they've captured the important essence of the SharePoint Team Services site, the look, the discussion boards, the document libraries. So now, as Neil, the pharmaceutical rep, if I go back and I want to add some information, for example, I have some very important Pentacell update information that I want to share with my customers. What I can do is I can go ahead and save that document, and you'll notice that if I go to the SharePoint Team Services homepage, it'll be there on the homepage. So I have a new document for the Pentacell update. And when I go to the Groove workspace at the customer site, I'll also notice that the Pentacell update is now on their access to our SharePoint Team Services site. Or let's say, for example, that I'm traveling and I'm offline. I can use Groove to take my SharePoint site with me. In fact, I can go ahead and add a new topic on the discussion board. It turns out we have some important information about the Pentacell trial updates. Yes, pharmaceutical firms have trials too. You guys are a little slow on that one. And I've added that as a discussion, but you know, that carries back into the discussion board on the SharePoint Team Services site because you now see it right there. So very, very cool work that we're doing with Groove. Well, of course, Office is the brand for what we're doing in information work. It will represent that broad $20 billion opportunity we want to make happen during this decade. During the next 5 years, we're making incredible investments. We will invest probably close to $3 billion in our R&D associated with information work during that period of time. Big investments in XML, meeting innovations, note-taking, personal information breakthroughs. And I'm very pleased to share with you that the next step in this will be Office 11 availability in mid-2003. And we want to give you, we don't have a lot of time, I'm a little bit over already, but we want to give you a sense, just the beginnings of some of the great things you're going to see throughout the year on Office 11. So please join me in welcoming Boris Chetnikov, who's going to show you a little bit about Office 11.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, everyone.
Great.
Keep up the enthusiasm, because I think I have some very cool stuff to show you today. All right, let's get started with I'm going to show you 3 main areas of improvements. Number 1 is about information management from a personal perspective. Number 2 is all about collaboration and how we use SharePoint Team Services as a great platform going forward. And number 3 is our XML solutions enabling technologies in Office 11. So now I just get started.
Great.
So here you have a look at the new Outlook. Well, this is the preview pane that we used to, but it's not a preview pane anymore. Now it's a reading pane. Now you can read all your emails without opening your emails and respond to them right there. You'll notice that the emails, we have this huge email fatigue problem. We receive hundreds of emails every day. Well, now there's easier ways to organize your emails. You can just pick a way of organizing them from, or you can look at the conversation thread. So instead of having hundreds of emails, you'll notice the thread is compressed. So you just have to look at the ones that you really care about. So, you know, people like to organize their emails in their unique ways. Some people are the compulsive inbox cleaners. They put things away. Some people remark their emails as unread to note that they need to follow up. Well, now you can actually just mark your emails and quick flag them, and they will be followed up. Now, I don't have to move them to another folder. Actually, I have this new technology called smart folders, which are virtual search folders. Without physically moving the emails, I can just take a look at that result. So I can just go ahead and create one. For example, let's say I want to see all the mails in my inbox and all my personal folders that contain the word MGB. And without just creating a folder, it goes ahead and searches across all of them and displays them for me. So why don't we move to the great improvements we are doing on calendaring. So this is the typical calendar view we're used to. Today, when you want to find out if someone is busy, what do? You open a meeting request, type their name in, and look at schedule. Or let's say if it's a web-based calendar, you don't have much of a luck. For example, I have my calendar right here. Well, there's a little change in STS V2 and Outlook 11. I just click on the calendar that I would like to see, and it says, would you like me to open it? Boom, there it is. You see a STS calendar or Exchange calendar side by side with your own calendar right in there.
Great.
Well, STS is a great platform for collaboration. Today, when you receive an email attachment, you're working on that document. It might be the old version of that document. Well, today, let's say I want to forward this presentation to a friend of mine. Well, the minute I attach it, it says, you can actually have a live attachment. What it does, it will create an associated SharePoint Team Services site that will host this document and host all the differences that are being made in the meanwhile as you're working on them. So, there's a site, and there's associated people who work on those things. There's tasks that are assigned. Well, you don't have to go to the website to see it. As soon as you open that presentation, you get a new task pane that will display who's working on the document, the tasks that are associated with it, the document that are working on it, and all the links that you have.
Oh, baby, go.
And we're using the same technology to create meeting workspaces so your meetings can also have their agenda and documents displayed the same way. Well, I'm going to just breeze through the XML investment we're making in Office 11. Well, XML is a technology word. What I like to call it, it's business process integration and displaying information in an intuitive, smart way. Well, let's say I'm a financial analyst and I'm working on this tool that I use to make investment decisions. And the things that I look at is the PE ratio of companies. We have a certain range. If they're higher than a certain number, we think they're kind of risky. Well, NASDAQ has been investing in our .NET framework to disseminate information in a standard schema with XML. So I can actually go ahead and say, yep, I would like to take that schema and apply it to my tool that already exists. So I can just drag and drop these fields. So let's say we went through the process and mapped already the fields. So that way now, when NASDAQ publishes their report about companies, I can just go ahead and say, I would like to import the results. There it is. Using the engine that we have in Excel to calculate, to analyze information, I just got the data right within from the schema.
Super. Cool.
Well, XML is not...
We're pandering.
They've barely got by Turkey, but it's okay. So, well, we have the XML implementation in Word as well. Basically, what we have here is we have predefined data sources and predefined actions right within a document. And you notice the task pane is now, it's customizable. So you can create what I call smart documents that also steps through some kind of a workflow and some kind of action. So the minute I start clicking through the document, you'll notice I do have certain rules and associated phrase because this is a template that I use to submit articles. So when I click on image area, which is a predefined data source, it goes to our image bank and gets the photos that I would like to embed into my document. So I might have already submitted the text for the header and the body. And all of these are coming actually from the backend that we have implemented in our database. It's also intelligent enough to notice that I'm actually working on a document that contains the name Ronaldo. So I insert his statistics from the championship, and also I can actually extend the information if it's available. Well, to show that this is not baked data, this is definitely a live data, well, I'm just going to go and say, you know what? I think a Turkish player was slightly better defending against Ronaldo during the championship. And there it is. It will get opted automatically.
You got the Turkish guys there.
And we work great with all the other infrastructure that we have, such as the content management server. So I can actually just submit this information in pure XML format, and it will get embedded into the system with the wrapper that's already been predefined. And there it is on the MSNBC site.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. So Office 11, great breakthroughs in personal information management, breakthroughs in terms of how we can do collaboration, breakthroughs in terms of how we take advantage of XML. Now, I don't know if you're like me, I've always wondered, why when you go to the Exec Briefing Center, is there the Microsoft Home? Where's the vision of productivity for information work? Well, I'm very pleased to let you know that this fall we'll be opening the Microsoft Center for Information Work so that you can see this kind of productivity vision and share it with your customers. This will give you the 5-year look. It's an immersive environment, productivity, collaboration, mobility. It's a combination of future products and Microsoft research efforts. It's a cross-divisional effort targeted at customers, press, and analysts. Let's go ahead and take a look.
So where we are right now is in the middle of construction for a new project at Microsoft. It's all about productivity of the future.
We've done other projects like this before, like the home, but we've never done that for productivity.
So often, our customers hear a lot about technology. I think this space really helps us give them an experience for what the solution can be. I think that's really going to resonate with our customers.
In the past, when we created our visions for productivity, they were one way. They were Microsoft communicating to customers. This time around, we wanted to make this a two-way dialogue, an interactive session with customers and with people who visit the center.
When you come here, you get to walk through a real day in the life of a company who's using productivity tools that just don't exist today.
There'll be different display devices in here, different input devices, all sorts of great new technology.
Directly behind me, you see a giant screen where the software is going to play a huge role in people being productive in a meeting.
Then some pods light up in the background where you can see somebody at home or somebody on an airplane or somebody in a car being able to stay connected with and contribute to one of these meetings. And at the end, what you've seen is a company make better decisions.
This isn't Microsoft's attempt to say what the future is, but one example of the way we think productivity could help workers in the future. One of the things that excites me the most about this space is how you can use it to follow up with your own customers. That's really what this space is all about.
If customers understand our point of view, if customers understand that we're taking a step forward in understanding their needs and trying to really build solutions that will work for them, I think we've won.
We built this center for the field and for customers. So it's really important for you to take advantage of it. And the way you do that, you just sign up with the EDC. And I really encourage everybody to sign up, bring their best customers, and take advantage of the work that we put forth.
Well, the Center for Information Work is going to all visualize what's possible in this decade for the productivity of information work. The digital decade, where we'll serve a broader customer audience, create new customer value through innovation, and really help customers realize the business value that can come from these great technologies. In closing, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your commitment, for your support, and for being here on day one. We're going to be a great team. We're going to realize a $20 billion dream. We'll help our customers realize the full potential of information work. Thank you very much.